Hello everyone, I am BlueBlaze, and Halo Wars is the first spin-off Halo game released, ever. By what I know of at the very least. Developed by Ensemble Studios and released for the Xbox 360 in 2009, Halo Wars is a top-down real-time strategy game based around the franchise of Halo. As I feel I quite usually do the FPS games with the exception of Spartan Assault, some of the points in this video may be somewhat different to that of the other videos in this series. Personally, I feel I may be more of a fan of the FPS games overall, however I feel I quite enjoy these ones as well. I believe the only RTS games I've played for more than around 15 minutes are this and its sequel anyway, therefore I don't have much to compare it to in the way of how the gameplay works. Anyway, without further ado, here are the things I feel are wrong in Halo Wars.
Let's ride!
I personally feel in Halo Wars, the distance in which you can pull back the camera from the unit feels quite a bit too small to me. In my opinion at least, it feels quite clunky moving around as the camera seems to be situated very close to the ground. I feel trying to find and manage units as well as keeping track on the overall battle seems severely slow because of this. However, because I'm not quite well versed in typical RTS mechanics, it may be quite possible this is a common approach taken by the genre.
Take him down!
Something I personally feel slows the pace of the game for myself is the unskippable in-game cinematics and what I would probably describe as tutorial or learning moments. Having played through the game previously before, and the second game's multiplayer quite a fair bit, the amount of time the game takes for things I believe I have an understanding of already, I feel causes it to be quite difficult and slow when replaying the game multiple times.
Clear that fire line just ahead.
Something I feel I found I'm not the biggest fan of personally is using supplies on story and stage integral units that once in position I cannot control again. Personally, I feel it may be unnecessary, however it may be another instance where I am unused to the mechanic present in RTS games as a whole. It may just be me, I don't know. This may seem quite strange for me to say, however I personally am not much of a typical RPG player. I feel my reasons for this are due to the length of the games and the slowness of the combat. Whilst I feel RTS games aren't as bad personally, as you're almost always watching and managing something at least, I feel the stages in Halo Wars at least sometimes feel as if they personally drag on longer than they feel they should, if that makes sense. With my lack of experience in RTS games, I feel I don't really have anything to compare the pace to. However, I personally feel I'm sometimes waiting for a level to end instead of making my way through the level, if that makes sense. I feel I may understand this may be something that is highly down to myself, however, and how I just really don't like waiting. I'm kind of impatient in that sense, I guess. Anyway.
Supply pad complete.
During the events of Halo CE, I think it may be implied that the Covenant has never seen the Flood before. As Halo Wars is set roughly 20 years before Halo CE, I feel it may slightly retcon that point, like when the Flood show up in this game. I believe the Covenant are present when they arrive, and as the Spirit of Fire gets stuck in space for a large amount of time, I believe I may understand why humans haven't heard of them before. However, I don't know, I feel the Covenant did not have that problem, however. I'm not sure how they didn't know about them in Halo CE, or if they did, why did they let them out? It's a whole other thing for another day. Anyway. In the game, there is one cutscene where the Arbiter at that time sneaks up on Forge and Anders whilst on the surface of the planet. Whilst I believe Sergeant Forge is a good fighter, I personally feel it seems quite strange how they left Anders, who I feel may be classed as a person of high importance, with only one single person for protection. I feel even if they didn't send some Marines down, having a Spartan there would have been good at least. However, it may just be me who feels that way. Maybe she isn't terribly high importance. I was also thinking along the lines of her being like a scientist and such. I don't know.
I lost Anders.
This one is more down to making the game fun over everything else. However, I feel I must wonder where the Spirit of Fire keeps obtaining resources from. Whilst above Harvest and Arcadia in the game, I feel they may have been able to obtain some from the planets themselves. However, when they are off far in space somewhere, I don't know. I believe I am unsure how they keep obtaining everything. It's probably better for the overall game, however, like, yeah. It's just interesting to think about anyway. There it is, my list for things I feel are wrong in Halo Wars. I feel I may understand how everyone else may feel differently about my list to other things within the game, and I do not feel I would mind hearing them in the comments. However, for now, I believe that may be everything from myself, and I hope everyone enjoyed the video overall. Cheers everyone! I personally feel, in Halo Wars, the distance in which you can pull back the camera from the units feels like quite a bit camera from the units feels quite a bit too small to me. Too small to me? Too small to me. Too small. I feel trying to find and manage units as well as keep on trucking. Something I feel I found I'm not a biggest. Something I feel I found I am not the biggest fan of personally is using supplies on storage. However, in Halo Wars, being set roughly 20 years before Halo C,